I guess it was in the late 80s is when everything in the downtown started really, stores started closing and businesses folded up. And we still had one of our banks or actually two of our banks were here in the downtown area, and a drugstore. And we had a few other shops. It was just really run down, and the fronts of the buildings and stuff like that had really deteriorated. And I bought these two buildings, and actually the one next to me I call Gertie's Dance Hall. It was my grandfather's grocery store. And the saloon was actually a saloon in the 1870s, and I was always kind of fascinated with saloons and stuff like that. And so that's why I built it to be a saloon. And then I named the dance hall after my grandmother, which was Gertrude. And so I called it Gertie's Dance Hall. And it just kind of evolved from there. There's Tracy White was one of the first that he had the building next to me, and the one on the other side of me that he's an artist and had done a lot of work to his buildings, and was kind of really the one that really started to kind of get things cleaned up. And he was out always sweeping the streets and trying to make it look better. And he basically kind of was the first to start, and then I guess I was second. And then it was just, there's just been so many people. We've just been so fortunate with Pete and Barbara Horton came in, and they did the car museums in their offices, and then they built their residence. And they've got another building called the Mardi Gras building that they opened just when we have Mardi Gras to sell beads and masks and stuff like that. So it just really helped. But the car museum, we just got Nocona put as the classic car capital of Texas. So that's our slogan that we have. So that's really cool. And we've just got car clubs that come from all over that come and look at the cars, go to the car museums. The thing I guess that kind of got me when I first started remodeling the buildings and stuff, people started bringing me pictures of how our thriving downtown looked and everything like that. And it just kind of overwhelmed me because they just started, everybody started bringing me old stuff that had something to do with Nocona. And just a lot of different things that came from our Northward School. I've got the water fountain that I drank out of when I was, in fourth grade. And just little things that mean a lot to people, And it was just, I think that's kind of what really got me to where I could see that other people liked it. And when we had people come from out of town, they really enjoyed it and thought it was really neat that we were fixing up our downtown and stuff like that. Just something that turned into be a passion, for me, that I really love doing it. And it really worked out great. We've just got so many people coming now. For a long time, we never had anybody just walking up and down our street, and every day now we have couples walking up and down the street that have been to the car museums. They're coming to eat at the restaurants. We've got some really good restaurants. We've got a brand new pizza restaurant that's going in across the street. It's one of the first new buildings that's been built in our downtown in a long time. So that's just really exciting. And they moved here from South Lake, Texas. Very nice people. It's been a long time coming. But I think that we're going to be able to have our kids and grandkids be able to live here eventually and make a living here. And that's just one of the greatest things that could ever possibly be, to have. Maybe they could own a bed and breakfast. It's like our biggest complaint right now is we need more shops. We need more things for the people to do. And it's kind of like which came first, the chicken or the egg. And it doesn't all happen overnight, and it just takes a while to do that. But hopefully, maybe somebody will see this story and see that there's some really good opportunities to put some kind of a store in here in Nocona. Our regular museum, Tales and Trails Museum, is just a wonderful museum that we have, and that they could come and spend the day or spend the weekend. We've got two really nice hotels here in Nocona. My brother owns one called the Veranda out on the highway, and Bob and Crystal Ferguson have just redone, and Rusty Finelli and Carolyn. They bought it together, and it's just a gorgeous little boutique hotel that they did downtown too. So they're both very nice places to stay. It's very expensive to redo one of the old buildings, and you can actually build one cheaper, a new metal building or something like that, but it doesn't have the character and the history and all the things like you were talking about downtown Wichita Falls. Y'all have got some great buildings down there, and it's just something that people are really, y'all's downtown has come a long way. I was up there for the crawfish festival that they had, and it's really coming along good. This is my grandfather's grocery store, Sam Arnold. Him and his brothers had this grocery store in the 20s. It was just kind of a mercantile type grocery store. and he had it till 1929, and I took a stick and I was knocking the ceiling tiles out, and I was looking up and I saw the crown molding, and it's got like an X on the crown molding up there, and it just seemed like I had remember seeing that crown mold in a picture we had, so I went back and looked through some old boxes I had, and this is a picture of the grocery store, and there's an X on the crown mold, so that I knew that it was this building. So I knew it was my grandfather's, and it was just really neat. You know, it's just kind of one of those things that you felt like that you had to do something with it. It's great when you have somebody, you know, from another area that can see that the town is going to grow and going to have tourism. It just takes both. You know, it takes the people from inside the town and then some people from the outside to have some ideas and stuff like that that are a little bit different. So.